This is the plaintiff, Mario Milano. He says he gave some expensive jewelry to the defendants to sell in their consignment shop. And after they got into an argument about payment on one of them, they took his items out of the display cases. Now he's having one heck of a time getting them to return his precious valuables, and is suing them here and now for the $4,925 he feels he's owed. These are the defendants, Susie and Kevin. Susie says their policy is if they can't sell the items on consignment within 150 days and the seller doesn't reclaim the property after that, it becomes abandoned and they get to keep the items. Well, this guy didn't show up for a year. The property indeed became abandoned and now he's out of luck. They're accused of being double-crossers.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated and come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn now.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Milano, you had several items that you decided you wanted to consign. Is that the right verb?
That's the right verb,
at
yes.
the defendant's shop. It was a men's emerald ring. It was a woman's emerald ring. It was an emerald pendant. And it was a grandfather clock. Am I right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so you sign a contract, and do you have a copy of that contract?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, so do you have a copy of the contract?
We do.
Let me see your copy too. I want to make sure we're all operating off of the same premise.
Thank you, sir.
Ooh, there's all kinds of different ink and writing all over it. How does that happen? Whenever some new fact happens, you write it on the contract?
Yes, we reduce the price.
Like, for example, on August 30th, you reduced the price. In red ink, you crossed out the price, and then you wrote the reduced price next to it.
Yes.
There's a bunch of writing. So messy.
I
Why is
know.
it so messy?
We apologize for that.
Right. No, I don't mean that
But
I
we
can't
never
read it. I
expected
mean
it to
that I
go
don't know
to
what
court.
happened. You shouldn't be messing with the contract that way. There should be an addendum with a date. This is on such and such a day. This is what we did. It would be much better if you kept records that
Agreed.
way. How long have you been in business?
We've been with the business 7 years.
7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the first time you have to go to court?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like,
Well, yes.
it's worth just keeping better notes so you're not embarrassed?
Correct.
Right, okay.
Agreed.
And you know what happened, because we have a couple of issues in this case. All right, so now 150 days from May 10th, 2017 have passed, and what happens? Do you go back and get all your stuff?
Yes, I do. I
So you
allege
go back and you took all the stuff back?
I allege that the defendant.
Wait, did you go back and take all your stuff back?
No, I didn't. I was not allowed to.
You tried to and they wouldn't
I
let you?
tried to,
Wait,
and
no, I know you tried to in 2019. I'm talking about, did you go back 150 days after May 10th, 2017?
No, I was in Florida,
Okay.
and the defendant had sold one of the rings. I asked the defendant, could she please send me the money that she owed me, about $250. She took $450 for herself. And she says, no, it's against our policy that you have to wait another 9 days.
Okay.
And I
But
told her I
the contract
was
you signed actually said that, right? We settle all accounts on the 10th of the month.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so
But this was,
and her taking $450 is the split you guys agreed to, right?
that's correct.
And go ahead,
And
what were you going to
Am I allowed
correct?
to say?
Yeah.
Excuse me, the ring sold for $500. It
Okay.
didn't, and the cut is 50-50 as per the agreement in the consignment, so,
Okay, where are you getting this? She took $450?
yeah.
Her staff told me it sold for $700.
Okay, do you
So-
have who in her staff told you that?
This was told to me by a young lady. It was either Maya or Patty.
Okay, do you have any proof of that?
Thank you, sir.
What
It
you're
was
saying?
only
Because they have the receipt for what it sold for.
It was only a phone call, and I was in Florida.
Okay.
And I
well,
asked-
it appears, when you do this, when you consign, you are at the mercy of the company, right? I once consigned about $2,000 worth of American Girl dolls that my poor middle daughter had cataloged once she grew out of them and was so happy about how she was going to make all this money. And apparently it sold for $100. And I'm pretty clear who it sold to. The consignment shop owner. So when you do stuff like this, you are at the mercy of the company, right? So I'm looking at their written records, and according to the written records, it sold for $500. Do you have any evidence other than hearsay that you say was said? Do you have an affidavit from that person saying they know it sold for $700? Do you have any evidence whatsoever?
The only evidence I have is that they called me to do this, and I did accept it.
Wait, they
and
called you to do what?
to accept this offer
Which offer?
of 700.
Who's they? You're talking about that staffer?
The staffers, yes.
Okay.
That's what they
And
said to
according
do,
to you,
and I
that never
agreed.
happened. It was always 500.
Okay.
The item sold for 500. The staff contacted Mario on the day that there was a customer interested in the item and asked if he would reduce the price, and he agreed to reduce it to 500.
The customer was offering 500.
Right.
Okay.
So we contacted him and he agreed.
Were you guys there, or that's
No,
what the staff
I was
was?
not in the store, which is
that-
why I
does-
asked them to do
So
it.
again, how do you know that? Because you asked the staffer, or there is a business record?
That's standard procedure.
The staff person contacted us to see if there was any wiggle room on this consignment item.
Okay, and
I
are
said,
there any business records, contemporaneous business records that you keep in order to show that, you know, the customer offered 500? I mean, it takes 1 second to type or write that, and no, you don't keep those records.
We don't keep records of what somebody
That
might
would
have
be
offered.
admissible in this court, but
Okay.
you telling me, someone told me X, is just as probative as him saying, someone told me Y. I'm gonna look at the business
On
record.
the
And
invoice.
the business record says it was sold for 500. Now, after it sells for 500, that happens after 150 days?
The item sold on August 17th,
So it's,
and then the accounts are closed and the checks are paid on the 10th of the month following the
so it's
sales.
kind of right there around the 150 days. But what happens then? You just keep the items and continue to try to sell them? Nobody signs a new contract?
New contract would be required if we were
Did
going
you
to.
sign a new contract?
No.
Okay, but you did agree to keep it on consignment?
Well, we didn't. We actually wanted Mario to come and pick up his stuff. when
Because
he
you
was in
got mad at
Florida.
him because he got a little testy about, I want my money wired and all that stuff.
Well, the checks weren't generated until the following.
To the 10th of the month of the following
Right,
month.
exactly.
That's what the contract
So
says.
essentially, he was asking for an advance, which, because of our accounting, we can't do. Different dealers can have.
You don't have to
outstanding
explain it to me.
things
It's
or
right in the
whatever.
contract. That's all I
So
care about.
We can't do.
Right.
But so at that point, he was begging for money. I can't get back from Florida. I need $250. And at that point, it became him asking me for a loan, which this is actually the first time I've ever seen Mario. So I'm not going to loan somebody I don't know.
Well,
$250.
according to you, he offered, what would you offer me to go to the bank and get you the money you're talking about? And then you said $25, and then he said, that's not worth my going to the bank. And then you said, you can do it from your phone app. But the bottom line is that the contract says that you're not entitled to it until the 10th. So what happens? You
Well-
get your payment on the 10th?
No.
No, I never got my payment.
Why didn't you send him his payment?
We didn't know where to send it to.
The check was made, and you can see it in the records there. The original check was written for that sale. It
Well,
was
you
checked-
guys know how to talk on the phone. How do you not?
As far as
well,
we
why don't
know-
you call him and get his address and mail his check
He
on the
just
10th?
kept saying he was in Florida.
Yeah. And then did you say,
So,
hey, I
in
need your
no-
address to mail you the check? Did
Well,
you say that?
no.
No. Why didn't you?
Because
everybody got testy. What happened? You tell me.
Because normally what the practice is when the checks are written, and this is what he was told this also, that the checks stay in the store and dealers and consignors pick them up.
Is that in your contract?
It's in the
I don't think
covenants
so.
and conditions, I
It's in the
believe.
covenants.
I don't know what that means. Is it in your contract with him, yes or no?
I actually don't know.
Then pay the 49 cents or whatever the heck a stamp is now. And
then anybody wanting a check mailed, they leave a self-addressed stamped envelope.
So that we know that
And-
it's going to the right place.
and
It's
he
not-
so
didn't
go
do
on.
it.
And the
So
bottom line
this-
is at some point
the
he
last
does
we
come
knew,
back
he
from
was in
Florida. He
Florida.
does come in.
We don't hear from him September, October. I realize I still have the check because it's in the drawer. We're getting ready to do another pay. And I did call him to remind him that he had a check at the stop, to also remind him that the contract had expired and that it was time for him to pick up his items. The clock didn't work. It couldn't be repaired.
And this
It
was
in-
all what month?
in November.
November of 2017.
Correct.
And what does he say?
Honestly, I don't remember the exact language.
Were you still in
said-
Florida at the time in November of 2017?
Because he doesn't come until
No, Your Honor,
January.
and I have contrary documentation
I'm
that
sorry,
what
but hold on.
she's
You
saying
signed a
is not
contract that
true.
said after 150 days it'll be abandoned. So it's well over the 150 days. So why don't you go and get your stuff in November if there's a phone call? Or even if there's not a phone call, why don't you get your stuff?
Because originally, the defendant said to me, don't worry, we're going to display your items until they're sold. And they took my items when I was in Florida after we had a debate about this money, and he wanted to charge me a usurious amount of over 100% to borrow money on my own money for 9 days. So he said, okay, I'm taking all your items.
According
you
to
have
the
7
contract
days
you
to do
signed,
it.
it's not your money till the 10th of the following month, but go ahead.
So we went back and forth, and I have many emails and text messages that in November I pleaded with her.
To what?
To please let us continue on. We had a misunderstanding with Kevin.
Tell me about the
for
misunderstanding.
usury.
These two get into a fight, and Kevin tells him, pick up your stuff. And then you get involved in what happens.
I don't remember having any contact with him until January 6th of 2018 when he came to the shop.
Okay, hand me all of the emails you just described. And then in January, according to you, what happens?
So he comes to the store and I show him where his clock is. It's been put in the dealer room off the floor because the bottom door didn't swing, and it became apparent to us that it was a hazard.
Safety hazard to our customers.
Correct. It also, we couldn't wind it. I did have a friend of the store come with parts to try to fix the clock, and they couldn't get it so it could wind or work, plus the door.
He's a certified horologist.
Horologist, right?
Which
and then-
is somebody who fixes
What's the
clocks.
word?
Horologist.
And what do they do?
Fix clocks.
Specialist.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horologist.
Great
I
name,
have
right?
never heard that
I
word.
know.
Go ahead, go on.
So anyway, Mario and I talked again about the consignment agreement. This was again all verbal. I asked him again to please take his items out.
How do you know the things you're saying if you don't keep contemporaneous notes, business notes on
So,
this stuff?
exactly. I know, you're right. I didn't expect
No,
it to
so
come
how
to
do
this.
you know? I'm asking legit.
She does have notes of all contacts with Mario in her date books.
So you
I
do
kind
keep
of keep a
contemporaneous
little bit of
notes,
a
or this stuff was
diary.
reconstructed for court?
No.
Just a note that we had contact with Mario, not what happened on that particular date. And then we could piece it together
And on
from
the
that.
6th, I just remember what happened because I can remember us standing in the dealer room. We're looking at the clock. I'm having the conversation again. Please take your items out. The contract is expired. He asked, can I fix the clock? Can I get somebody else in to fix the clock? And I said, oh.
Okay, I'll try. So
Because
instead
I'm-
of the
yeah.
$250 that he was going to
So
pick
I
up, he
rewrote a
agrees,
check.
you mutually agree that he's only going to take $150 and you took $100 in order to fix the clock. Now, as
try-
it turns out, you didn't fix the clock.
Turns
and
out
you
I-
also agree to continue to market his stuff.
Well, we didn't.
Well,
we-
you did.
We didn't extend the contract.
Well, of course you did. I need you to stop and I need you to tell me what happened then because I've already read your notes. So you tell me what happened then.
So I rewrote him a check.
Right.
Tried
And
to,
then you didn't hand him the emeralds or anything else. You agreed.
said he
if you're
did-
going to fix a clock, what's the point, right? Unless
'Cause
you're
I-
going to sell it. I
'cause
mean,
I-
we know, you and I both know,
That's
you
exact.
agreed to continue to market it.
I agreed to help Mario out.
Yes, which means by what?
was
By
not-
feeding him applesauce? You agreed
By
to
taking
help.
the $100 and trying to get the clock fixed. And,
And what
nobody would
else?
nobody would touch it for $100.
And what else, though? And continuing to sell the stuff. Don't keep telling her what to say. I want the truth.
but the clock wasn't on the floor
you
to
agree
sell.
with- Right. And what about the emeralds and stuff? You didn't say, oh, while you're here, put these in your pocket. Because he made some comment about how the clock will not fit in my Jaguar, but the emeralds will. He doesn't take them back because you're going to continue to market them.
Okay.
All right. Now, let me ask you a question. Did you not have a copy of your contract? You lost your contract?
I have the contract, yes.
You always had the contract.
I had the contract and then.
Always. So you know what your cut is, right?
But the thing is, she altered the agreement
By?
without my permission. All these writing is her writing.
That's when the
altered
price
it.
stop. That's when the price got lowered according to the contract. You sign a consignment contract. It says it's over in 150 days. Also, what it says is you can't get your stuff back until 150 days, and you better get your stuff out after 150 days, because after that I'm going to own it, and there needs to be a little gap there. You should change that and give people 24 hours, 48 hours. I know you don't enforce it that way, but you don't want a judge to ever look at this contract and say, I'm throwing it out. So, you have to have a little gap there. So that is what you sign. Now what happens is everybody's keeping the stuff. They're not a bed. They're not saying, oh, who are you? No, that's my grand piano or whatever. They're telling you, okay, pick up your stuff. Okay, we're not laying claim to it, but you got to pick up your stuff. And it's not convenient for you because you're in Florida for the winter. So it's not convenient for you. You have not made arrangements for somebody else to pick them up. You don't have the wherewithal to pick up whatever it is. It's not convenient for you. So in January, you should be considering yourself lucky when she's talking to you, taking you around and making agreements. But when you turn around and talk about stuff and say what you're going to do, you re-enter into another contract with him. The question is, what are the terms of that new contract? He has the right to believe, when you put your hand down and listen, when you are acting as though you're going to keep things going, he has the right to believe that it's under the same terms as before. And they have the right to believe that it's under the same terms as before. So what I'd like to see now, what communications do you have between January 18th and, according to you, when's the next time you hear from him after January 18th?
April 14 of 2019.
19. And we're talking about January of 2018.
Correct.
So according to you, you have no contact with him for a year and a half.
Correct.
All right. Now, I want to see from you any contact that you can prove you had with them in that year and a half, from January 2018 to April of 2019. Why? Because in my eyes, if everybody keeps acting like we're renewing the contract, then I'm going to act like we renewed the contract too. So I need to see all contact that you had between January of 2018 and April of 2019.
She seems to have a convenient memory loss, and
What's
this is the
that?
proof. This came from her cell phone, March 8th.
Show it to me in your cell phone.
I would be glad to do that.
He says, "Hi, Susie, how are you? Any sales yet?" You say, "No." Do you have it in your phone?
Yes, I do.
Let me
And,
see.
Your Honor,
I don't want to see a screenshot. I want to see it
This
in
is
the
the-
body of the text.
this
You
is the
understand
bo-
what I'm driving at, right?
Yes, I
Because
do, and
screenshots
there
can
it
be
is.
altered. I want to see what comes before, what comes
Yes.
afterwards, so I can see if it's legit.
yes, it is, ma'am.
Okay.
It's very legit.
I will be
And
the
she
judge of
has
that.
a convenient way of forgetting things.
Okay, so at some point in December of 2017, he asked for the contract and you take pictures of it and send it to him. And then apparently maybe you got, I'm looking right at the text.
Okay.
Also, whoever sent this to him had the contract. So,
That's fine.
And it sounds, when I'm reading it, it sounds like you.
And it's the same contract that we gave you?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
exactly
Okay.
the one with the notes, so it can only be you.
That's fair enough.
And then it's you asking, shall I take this message as a confirmation you will not come in on Sunday?
Okay.
And he says, that's when he says, that's right, under your demands, I cannot move the clock today, it will not fit in my Jaguar. So this is you. I got that this is, and so I'm looking
find
here.
record of it, yeah.
Oh, in March of 2018, hi, Susie, how are you? Any sales yet? No. It sounds like that happened. So now let's move the clock again. March of 2018. Show me any correspondence that you guys have between March of 2018 and April of 2019.
It is something to note that she forgot.
I need an answer to the question I asked.
All right.
Because I'm being awful generous moving the clock. You asking a question, hey, if you sold it, doesn't move the clock. But I'm going to move the clock anyway because I know how much time passed, so I don't even have to quibble about that. So do you have any correspondence between March of 2018 and April of 2019?
I do, Your Honor. I just need a little moment to
problem.
look for it. I'm
Okay,
so
and
sorry.
according to you, there's none, right, folks?
The next communication we have is April 25th, Your Honor.
And what happens according to you on April 25th? Because I want to give him a chance to look for what I just asked him to look for.
My response to him was April 25th. His email was on April 17th.
What does he say?
Dear Susie, since you discredit my proof that we were at all times in communication and refused to give my share of the sales items, I have attached a lawsuit that will be filed Friday in municipal court. Please read the attached. It is your decision to have a judge decide, pay court costs, witness
Blah, blah,
fees.
blah. Okay, so
your
now
day
we've
in
hit the
court,
fan.
blah, blah,
We know
blah.
what happened, so we know it's April. Now go ahead. By the way, what items do you still have? Just
Clock-
curious.
The clock
The clock
and the
and the
men's
ring.
emerald ring.
I have pictures.
What
if
happened to
you'd
the
like see.
pendant?
Yes.
We don't know.
You guys have
don't know.
looked, you can't find it? See, that's why you got to keep better notes. Well, how do you lose
the
a
notes she has
beautiful
on her
emerald pendant?
contract indicate that he might have taken it.
No,
Might-
they
maybe he
don't.
did
Where
it
do your notes indicate he might have taken it?
when it
You,
was crossed
January.
out.
just because you cross it, that's how you record that a person took
We
their
don't
stuff?
know where the pendant is.
Exactly.
We do not
All right,
have
you
a record of
don't
a
talk
sale.
so much.
No.
She's more reasonable.
We don't
I need you
have-
guys to think. This is why you have to keep some notes so that you don't get asked a question like this and then, I mean, it sounds really messy. You should be, this is a beautiful piece that you should be able to sell. Does it matter legally if I find that he abandoned it? No, not really. You lost your own thing. But you shouldn't lose stuff, right?
Right.
People should have faith you're not going to lose stuff.
That's correct.
All right.
I allege that she
I don't want to hear what
this
you
piece-
allege. I want to hear an answer to my question.
Okay, the question is
the
that-
question pending is, show me proof of any communication from March of 2018 to April of 2019. That is the pending question.
Welcome back to the People's Court. The plaintiff says he gave the defendants some of his stuff to sell on consignment, and they lost his jewelry and broke his clock. But the defendants seem to be saying he left his stuff there when the contract ran out. Does the contract automatically renew when it runs? Let's go back into the courtroom.
The only thing I have is this particular situation here. And I did not want to disturb them because her emphatic no thought maybe I leave them alone. They're going to sell these items. I won't bother them anymore.
You think that's
and
going
they
to
will
stop the
send-
150-day clock from running?
But we agreed.
That what, in
that she
perpetuity,
would
they
not-
belong to you and
that-
they take up
no,
space in their
that-
place?
No, sir.
The only
No, ma'am.
right you have is to assume that a contract is being renewed. Under what terms? The terms of the original contract. Frankly, this would be a lot less messy if you made everybody re-sign, okay? You know, everything's digital now. It's all easy. It's not like the old days where people had to come in and, you know, you could do this so easily. So I don't understand why you would think that you magically, by not picking up stuff and them not saying the first time, hey, this stuff is ours, pal, you think that you have greater rights than every other consignor there. You have the same rights. You have the right to expect the same rights if they keep renewing the contract by acting like it's around. But you cannot tell me, yes, I have lots of contact all that time. She's denying we had contact. And then magically, when I ask you the specific question and give you time to find your proof, say, I made the decision that I was going to leave them alone, that maybe things would work out better. You leave them alone, your 150 days are running, pal, just like every other consignor. So there was a document you wanted me to see.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's see it.
There is another circumstance here that
Oh, these are just your notes.
Right.
This is what you want me to see?
I'm still looking, ma'am. But in the meantime, the defendant, Susie, said to me that anytime I would come in the store, I would have to speak with Kevin only. And this Kevin was very, very adamant with me and very condescending. And I checked to see why
Mr.
is this
Milano,
man
can
there?
I
And
ask you a question?
Why does he have
don't
a
you just pick up
restraining
your toys and go
order?
home? When you don't want to do business with them, just don't. But it's
Because-
not convenient for you because you spend so much time out of the state. So
No.
all of a sudden,
No.
that's someone else's problem. I don't get it.
No, okay. Please let me explain. Please. I'll make it quick.
You know what? I lose my patience when you say nothing that would have any legal bearing on anything. You have a contract. I deal in contracts. If in fact you got lost from March of 2018 to April of 2019, what rights do you still have to any of this stuff? If they lost the emerald necklace, that's their emerald necklace that they lost, not yours, because you would have abandoned your right to it once you didn't show up for 6 months or whatever, 155 months.
But Mr. Kevin had a restraining order against him. Clients say, stay clear of this man 100%. I have this
What on earth
evidence.
are you talking about?
The reports they have about him, here is his restraining order. I
you
did not
talking
want to
about
have a
another case?
conversation. No, I did not want to have a conversation with
I'm sorry.
Conversation
You
with
have
him.
a restraining order?
No.
Who has a restraining order? Another person?
Yes, against
Okay,
him.
I don't care about that. It has
Okay.
nothing to do with you.
But I did not want to
Then
have
you
a
don't. It's fine. You made a choice. You
confrontation
didn't
of
pick
him.
up your stuff.
I did
Because
not
your
want
choice is to pick up your stuff, right? You do get what I'm saying. All you got to do, you don't have to have any contact with them. Go away. I'm done with you. Go pick up your stuff. Did you pick up your stuff?
She said she
Did you
would
pick
sell
up
it.
your stuff? Yes or no?
We made an
your case
agreement.
is over.
We made an
It is
agreement.
abandoned. I find that you have the rights to it. Now I have an additional question. Do you want him to pick up the stuff or do you want to be rid of him?
At this point, the less communication, we offered Mario for him to come and get all of his stuff if he would just pay the storage fee on it.
No, he's not going to do that. Because the storage fee would be more than, he would have to pay you to get the stuff and then sell the stuff anyway to recoup what he paid you. So that's probably not going to happen. So I find that the stuff was abandoned and what you guys work out among yourselves is your business. Verdicts for the defendant.
So, Mr. Milano, the plaintiff fails to convince the judge that he should prevail, and Mr. Milano, your stuff has been abandoned. What are you thinking?
Well, it's not true. There
it
is
is
such
true.
a thing. Well, it is true as they try to present it. But this is about the breach of applied covenant of good faith and of having these items. And this is only like Michael Douglas said in the famous movie, Wall Street, it's all about greed.
Well, you can say what you want, but under the terms of the contract, you didn't get your material, and so it's gone. You didn't live up to the terms of the contract that you signed. That's what the judge said. And what she decided. Okay. I'm sorry, but it's over now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, good enough. You must sign some documents. Susie and Kevin are on their way out of the courtroom right now. I think you learned a little bit about what you should do with your contracts to help strengthen your business. You know, you learned something out of this.
We sure have.
I guess the other question is, what are you going to do now? The clock is still there. The other material's still
Clock
there.
is still there,
Guess we're going to
and
try to
The
sell
necklace
it.
is gone, right? You know, pendant.
necklace, we have a ring.
Yeah.
I guess try
I
to
mean, the
sell
clock
them.
has been marked down to $500 and it hasn't sold in 3 months.
All right.
But I mean, the
Well,
only
you
recourse
prevailed.
we
Let's
have-
put it there. Your first term to court?
Yes.
Well, you learned something.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin, very much. All right. Harvey?
You got to read contracts really carefully when you do something like this. And by the way, especially in a consignment sale, you got to know when you have to pick the property up, because if the contract runs out and you don't pick up the property in time, it is abandoned and you're in trouble.
This is the plaintiff. I'm in session. He says the defendant is his ex-wife, and in an attempt to woo her back, he went out and purchased over $10,000 worth of jewelry for her. He gave the jewelry to his sister to give to the defendant. She never responded to his nice overtures, now refuses to return the pendant, 2 pairs of earrings, and 2 rings, and he's suing her for the $10,000 he's owed. This is the defendant, Jelena Wright. She says the plaintiff gave her the jade jewelry as a gift, and she's not returning it. Why should she? The only reason the plaintiff's suing her today is because he's mad she won't get back with him. Well, he can be as mad as he wants because she wants to have nothing to do with him after today's case is over. She's accused of keeping the family jewels. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $6,000 for emotional distress and lost wages.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
welcome.
All right, Mr. Session.
Hello.
Hi, you're suing your ex-wife for $10,000, a statutory maximum in your state, for gifts that you gave her that she did not respond to. Tell me about your divorce. When did that divorce take place?
Well, we divorced in 2013.
Okay, and do you have a child together?
Yes, we have a little girl.
Okay, how old's the little girl?
She's 6.
Okay, and why did you separate?
It just didn't work out.
Okay, whose idea was it?
I guess it was both of our ideas.
Okay, why did you guys separate?
Because of cheating and lying.
Who
and
was cheating and lying?
He was.
He was cheating and lying? Okay, so you dumped him.
Yes.
Okay, so go on.
So after we separated, the separation lasted for about,
But whatever,
couple
you end up
years.
getting a divorce, and
Yeah.
then when do you go out and buy all this jade jewelry?
I bought this jewelry in 2017.
Okay, so what happens between 2013 and 2017 when you buy the jewelry? Like, are you talking to each other, seeing each
No, I tried to work it out a few times. Like, I tried to talk to her in church. And I tried to talk to her a few times after that. She just didn't want to talk.
Right.
Right, so time still passed by, and I decided to go shopping for me. And she was still on my mind, so I decided.
4 years later after your divorce, did you guys date at all in those 4 years?
No.
Okay.
And then when I bought her the jewelry, like everything was still cloudy. Like
Cloudy?
Like the
I don't know how it could be
divorce-
any more crystal clear. But
The divorce was still on my mind.
4 years later?
Yeah, and I'm like, to me, how to put it in words, like, how am I going to cope? How am I going to deal with this? I guess I was going through it for the whole 4 years. So when I gave her the jewelry.
Did you cheat on her?
Huh? I mean.
Yeah, that's
man,
pretty much my answer because I think he heard me.
Then why is that the matter if it can't be worked out?
Then if it
it's
can't be
that?
worked, do you understand that she has a choice in her life whether she wants to be with you or not? She can choose whether she wants to be with you. She has chosen not to be with you, right?
But that's not the issue. The issue is that if it's cheating, then she don't have to work it out. And if she accepted the gift, she still didn't have to accept the gift. I don't know
I'm
why.
sorry, whose idea was the gift?
Mine's.
Okay, so according to you, you spent $10,000 on
Yeah.
jade?
Yeah.
Okay, may I see the receipt for the $10,000?
Oh, I didn't print out the receipt.
No?
No.
Okay.
That's one of the things I forgot.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's okay. I don't mind, so long as you don't mind.
Welcome back to the People's Court, Harvey Levin here. So she gets $10,000 worth of jewelry because he wants to win her back. She doesn't want to go back. Does she have to return the jewelry?
No,
Why?
because it was a gift.
Yeah, but she knows he did it to get her back, and then she just takes the jewelry and doesn't go back with him.
I kind of agree with her. It was a gift.
Got to go to a guy here. What do you say?
I'd go with the women.
Because you're scared?
No, not at all. I mean,
Yes, it is.
She has a choice. And if she wants to keep it, she can keep it.
If somebody wants to spend $10,000 to win somebody back, they take the jewelry, it's their fault for spending $10,000.
Wow, okay, going inside the courtroom.
What I'd like to know is you bought earrings. What is it? Earrings and what else?
A pendant with a necklace, 2 earrings, and 2 rings.
Okay, so then do you give it to her?
No, I gave it to my sister to give it to her. She still didn't want to talk.
So you give it to your sister, and then his sister gives it to you?
Yes.
What does she say to you when she's handing you the gift?
She texted me and told me that he bought me some jewelry, and I said, okay. I took it because I thought he was trying to extend the olive branch, like, you know, we haven't spoken all these years. I haven't took care of my daughter, you know, let me start fresh.
What do you mean he hasn't taken care of his daughter?
He doesn't help me do anything.
Are
I
you
take care
kidding
of her
me?
solely by myself.
Why haven't you gone to court to enforce child support?
Because the government assistant that he has, he's not able to pay child support.
Have you sued him for child support?
No, I haven't.
Well, then whose word are you taking on what you just said?
This is me going down to the Social
Oh, and
Security office
they
in San
told you
Francisco.
that?
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
So he doesn't give you a penny for the kid,
No.
but he thinks Jade is going to get... I got an idea, pal. How about if instead of forcing her to raise your daughter alone, and instead of spending $10,000 on Jade, you spent $10,000 on... What's your daughter's name?
Taraji Ellen.
Taraji. Maybe that would be maybe that would get her enamored of you again. If you're trying to win her back, don't you think that would be a better plan?
I think this is the problem, man. I think the excuse that is happening now is a good reason to have an excuse.
I'm sorry.
But
do you pay child support, yes or no?
that's the problem is, man, Judge Marilyn, that she don't want to work it
Don't call me
out.
Marilyn.
She don't want to work it out. That's the thing.
No. The problem is that you have a very thick head. You don't understand. She doesn't want to work it out, and she has a right to not work it out. We all have a right to determine our own destiny.
Ma'am,
Stop. You've been dumped, and apparently for a good reason.
I haven't badgered her about that.
I need you to understand me.
She-
do
if
you
she
or
can't-
don't you pay child support?
Ma'am, is that her fault that she can't make me do that? Is that her fault? How is it my fault that she can't make me pay child support?
I'm
or how is
sorry.
it my fault? Ma'am,
So have you bought anything for your daughter?
ma'am, the issue is...
No, I'm going to tell you what the issue is. What'd you do with the Jade?
I fell on hard time, so I pawned it.
Yes! Okay, you go, girl, because that is yours to do with what you want. A gift is a gift. They don't have to thank you. They don't have to get back with you. They don't have to forgive you. Are you out of your mind?
Ma'am, she ain't
now,
called
you
me.
have a counterclaim against him for $6,000 for what?
For emotional distress.
What
I feel
emotional
like I'm being
distress?
Harassed.
I never
Stop.
contacted
What
her.
emotional distress?
I feel like I'm being harassed.
How?
He's making my character look like
How?
He's making me look like I'm a bad
No,
person.
I mean, how are you being emotionally distressed? By him doing what? Filing this lawsuit?
Yeah.
Oh, don't be silly. Your remedy's to win. Okay? And lost wages?
Yes, I'm missing work. I work at the Postal Service.
Okay. Do you have any proof of your wages?
No, I don't.
Oh, well, then I guess
Ma'am,
that's
I
not
haven't-
happening either, because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. No, we're done. On your lawsuit against her, I am ruling in her favor. On her lawsuit against you, I am ruling in your favor. You are done. The only job you have left to cooperate in is co-parenting. Does he even see her?
No.
She don't let me see her, ma'am.
Well, then why don't you? Is it her fault that you don't go to court and assert your rights as a father?
No,
because I think we're pretty clear that if you do that, somebody might make you pay child
It
support.
should show that she
We're
don't
done.
listen.
Well, both sides are losers in this case. Neither one prevailed in their lawsuits. Mr. Session, the judge is really irritated with you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, for not paying child support. She let you have it. You understand that, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I understand that.
Why are you at all interested in seeing your child taken care
No,
of?
I think it's
anything?
not clear. They couldn't force me to do it. It should be why they couldn't make me do it. I think this is a good example because I think it's wrong that she don't have to do nothing. I think it's right that I don't have to do anything instead of being blamed for it.
She could take you to court, you know, and get child support.
She can and she should, but if she can't
you
do
should
it,
volunteer to take care of your daughter. She's your daughter.
I think this is a good example because she haven't did it in
I don't think
so
you get
long.
it. I don't think you get it. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, you must sign some documents on your way out of the courtroom. Your $10,000 jewels, that was a gift. Good gift. So you get to keep the jewels.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, you pawned them already.
Yes.
They're gone.
Yes.
What'd you get for them? Did you get $10,000?
I got a couple $100.
That's all?
Mm-hmm.
A couple of hundred?
Yes.
He paid $10,000, so he says.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Why don't you go after him for child support? The judge is mad with you not doing that, too.
I've already explained that I tried, but whatever he gets, I'm not able to.
All right. Well, listen, good luck to you,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Thank
Work
you.
it out.
Here's the thing what she needs a child support order. And you should know that even if you don't have a lawyer, you can't afford a lawyer, clerks are very helpful when it comes to family law. Not all of them, but some of them.
This is the plaintiff, David Womack. He says he dropped off some clothes at the defendant's dry cleaners and he mistakenly left some jewelry in the pocket. When he called the defendant to see if she found his belongings, she told him yes and said it was locked up in the safe. When he went to retrieve his jewelry, she then told him she gave his stuff to another customer because she felt bad for him. Huh? He's suing for $1,899, the value of his missing jewelry. This is the defendant, Cindy Horton. She says she found some jewelry on the floor of a store one day and had no idea whose it was. She put it on her front counter, figuring the owner would come looking for it, but no one did. She ended up giving it to another customer who just lost his mother. Bottom line, she found the stuff on the floor and no one called about it or claimed it as theirs. She's accused of giving it all away.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says he lost some jewelry at the defendant's cleaners and says she gave it away before he had a chance to come pick it up. But the defendant says she held on to it, but gave it away to another customer who had just lost their mother. It's the case of really being taken to the cleaners.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome in.
Okay, Mr. Womack.
Yes.
December 31st, about to start off a new year. And how do we start off our new year? You go to the cleaners, you
yes.
take 5 pairs of pants and a sweatsuit. And according to you, you left almost $2,000 worth of jewelry inside of it.
Right, in my sweatsuit pants.
Okay, what did you have inside your sweatsuit pants that you did not remember and did not take out?
A 10-carat Cuban link bracelet.
A 10-carat
Yes,
Cuban link.
bracelet.
Bracelet?
A 10-carat Figaro.
What's a 10-carat? I know what a Cuban link bracelet is. What is a 10-carat Figaro chain? What does
necklace.
that look like?
It's a Figaro necklace.
What's it look like? Do you have
They
pictures?
got loops. Yes.
Is that one a necklace?
Yes. Right. And a solid gold nugget charm. And also, here's the bracelet.
When were these pictures taken?
Oh, well,
Do you have these on your cell phone?
No. They're on my wife's cell phone.
Okay. When do you realize what you did?
I realized it that Saturday evening.
When had you been there?
Oh, I went back to the cleaners.
Wait, stop. December 31st was on a Tuesday, right? Or
Right,
Wednesday? Tuesday.
right.
So on the Saturday after that Tuesday, you go back to the cleaners and what happens?
No. I went back on the Monday. The Saturday.
When you realized it on Saturday, did you call?
No, I didn't realize where it was.
Okay, what'd you say about Saturday?
I was looking for my jewelry because I wanted to wear it, but I
Okay.
couldn't find it.
Okay.
And so Saturday and Sunday I was looking for it. So Monday I had to go
And
get.
you didn't remember that you had it in the pants?
No,
All right, go on. Was
So-
it in the pants or in the jacket of the sweatsuit?
it was in the pants of the sweatsuit.
Okay, go on. So it's Saturday night, you know it's missing, and you still can't connect the dots that you put it in your pocket. By the way, I'm gonna make sure to take a copy of this trial to my husband, who, after all these years, still will put stuff in his pocket and be stunned that he lost it. Just stunned. He'll take his license after TSA, he'll put it in his pocket, say, it's fine. No, it's not fine. You are constantly losing things out of your pocket. You shouldn't put stuff in your pocket. It's an open vessel, right? Okay, so go on.
Okay, so the Monday I went back to the cleaners to get my clothes.
Yeah.
I asked the young lady behind the counter, did they find any gold in my clothes? She said yes.
Okay, now is
So-
that young lady here or no?
No.
Okay, so go on.
So she said yes, it was right here on the counter. So
On the counter?
yeah, she
Okay.
said it was on the counter. And so she didn't see it on the counter, so she started looking around the shop for it. She couldn't find it, so then she called Miss Horton. Okay, Miss Horton told her to tell me that she had it in the safe and for me to come back the next morning at 8 o'clock. So I came back the next morning at around 8:30, 9 o'clock to get my gold. She tell me, oh, I'm sorry, I gave your jewelry away.
Okay,
And
let's
she-
back up a second. Who finds the jewelry and where?
I did. When I came into work Wednesday, it was on the ground.
And what jewelry did you find?
It was a bracelet and a necklace.
Okay.
But I'm not.
And did the necklace have a gold nugget charm on it? You don't remember?
I'm
Okay.
not sure.
So when you found it, what did you do with it?
I picked it up and I stuck it up on the counter.
Why on the counter? Isn't that like likely to get stolen there?
Because I just assumed that if it was of any value, the person would come back and claim it.
How quickly? Obviously, the person lost it. I mean, it might take a bit for the person
True.
to come back and claim it.
Well,
So what'd you do?
I stuck it underneath. I have a monitor on my counter. Underneath the monitor, the base. I stuck it on the base.
Okay.
And it sat there for a while.
What's a while?
Till I think Saturday.
That's not a while. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's 4 days. And what'd you do with it on Saturday?
A gentleman came in and I had no idea whose it was or if it was even real, and was talking to me about how he just lost his mother. And his mother had given him stuff, a bracelet like this, and he can't find it. And we just were talking about how sentimental things are. So I gave it to him
Because you felt bad for the guy?
because I felt bad for the guy because I know what it's like to lose your mom.
The problem is you didn't reach into your pocket to give him something that was yours. The problem is you reached onto the counter to give him something that you found.
Well, he had pointed it out. I think in hindsight, I think he knew what he was looking at,
Yeah,
and I didn't. And then,
Did you ever call the police to say, hey, there's some jewelry here. I don't know if it's but you know, I'd like to turn it in?
no, I
Do you
never-
have a safe in the place?
No, I don't have a safe. That was never.
Wouldn't it have been a much better idea to just stick it in a drawer for a month?
Yes. Now, with this, yes.
Who's the gentleman with you?
This is my son.
Okay. Do you know anything or you're here for moral support?
A little bit of both. I'm familiar with the process. Worked with her for years, so I know that we find things in pockets. If we find it in a pocket, we attach it to their ticket. It comes back with the rest of the clothes.
And where did you find this? On the floor?
I did not find it.
Where did you find this? On the floor?
I found it on the floor.
Okay.
But we have video footage of him checking his own pockets.
Okay. In fact, the video footage shows even more than that,
It
doesn't
does.
it? Which you
Yes.
didn't even realize until you looked at it this
Today.
morning here.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, this is so good. Watch this. Watch closely. That's you looking through your pockets. Whoops, there it is. Something just fell out of your pocket. Did you see it? Come on, come close, come close.
seen it.
Did you see it, or you want to get closer and see it again?
I seen it.
You saw it, right? So she's right that it was on the floor. They didn't steal your stuff from your
No,
pocket.
I never seen anybody stolen.
Well, you said that you'd left it in the pocket and that they should have called you, and you know. This is crazy.
Yeah.
You're actually you're doing what you're supposed to do, which is looking through the pockets, and then it's just one of those things
And
that it
screwing
falls
up
out
at
like
the same
that.
time.
Now, the question really becomes, let me explain to you. Do you have, as someone who finds something, an obligation of any kind legally to hold it for the person? If you have no obligation, not what should you have done? We all know what you should have done. Everybody within the sound of my voice knows that it was ridiculous what you did. What you should have done is kept it for a significant period of time, maybe 30 days. Why? Because people realize when they've lost it, oh, maybe it's at the cleaners, and they come later. So, of course, in retrospect, that's what you should have done. The question is, do you have a legal obligation? Does the law put on you an obligation to safeguard or do anything with something you found? Or if you find it, finders, keepers, losers, weepers, and it's yours to distribute to whoever you want. That's the legal question in front of me. You have a legal obligation to safeguard it. In fact, your legal obligation in the state of Florida, just like in a lot of other states, is that you're supposed to call the police and say, hey, I found this, and give it to the police. Let them worry about it. And then when the person comes, say, hey, I gave it to the police. Here's the police case number.
I found that out after the fact.
Right. I understand. You're not a bad person. You were trying to be a good person to somebody else who I think took you for a chump. But that's neither here nor there. Now, he was, and the reason that I feel like he doesn't trust you is because he says that you told her to tell him that it was in the safe. Did you ever tell her to tell him it was in the safe?
No, ma'am. I told her.
Do you even have a safe?
No.
Okay.
I told her to tell him to come back the next morning and talk to me because I knew what I had done.
Right.
And that I was going to try to get a hold of the gentleman that I gave it to get it back.
Oh, how'd that work out?
Well, I didn't have his number.
And then, has he ever come back in?
He came back in once, and I told him everything, and he said that he was going to get it back and bring it back, but he never did.
Why didn't you just get his name and number and give it to him?
I did, but it was the wrong number.
Oh. Oh, he kind of sounds cagey now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about value. How is it you're going to prove to me what that stuff's worth? You're calling everything solid gold. Do you have the receipts for them from when you got them?
Yes.
Oh, lordy, lordy.
I have the replacement cost for the necklace from the original seller. And he determined that by the weight of the necklace, which was 20.4 grams on that receipt right there. And the nugget, the best I could do was a something similar to it. I got offline, and I don't have the picture.
Okay, I got you. All right, if things happen exactly as you said, and I kind of think they did, I just feel bad for you because this is a very expensive lesson to learn, but lesson learned, right? You have an obligation to humanity when you find their stuff to just turn it over to the police. It's not yours to give away. I'm finding in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $1,899. Good luck, everybody.
Well, the plaintiff prevails, and the defendant, I think, has learned a lesson. Ms. Horton, what are you thinking?
I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I'm super surprised. I learned my lesson, I guess.
That's what I said. You learned your lesson.
I learned a hard one.
Yeah, an expensive one. All right. If somebody else loses some jewelry, you'll know what to do.
I'll
Okay?
call
I can't
the
believe you
police.
gave it away to somebody, just out of the blue like that. But anyway.
Okay.
Good enough. Thank you very much. You must sign some documents on your way out of the court. Mr. Womack, congratulations.
Thank you.
You know what you did that was really good? You had enough evidence to prove to the judge the value of what you lost.
Yes.
That's good. You did your homework.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're not very talkative. Right.
No, well, I mean, it was kind of my fault because I just saw it on the video, and I was shocked when I saw the video. It fell right out my pockets.
Yeah.
So it was kind of my fault, too. So
I bet you won't leave many jewelry in your pockets the next time you go to dry cleaner, will you?
No.
I'm sure of that. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
You won, and you also learned a lesson.
Yeah.
Okay. Harvey?
Well, you should know, if you find something and you know it belongs to somebody else, there ain't no such thing as finders keepers in a situation like that.